Hi Virgo, my name is Audrey Alison. Thank you for joining me and thank you for tuning in and sharing and liking my YouTube page as well as my Facebook page, Audrey Alison Astrology and Tarot. I'm excited about August because it is half of your birthday month. So happy birthday to you, Virgo. And I'm using a new deck that I just retrieved from the heart of the French Quarter. Every July I head there and stock up on treats at Marie Laveau's shop. So I'm using the Morgan Greer Tarot deck by Bill Greer. The illustrations are amazing on the cards. There's lots of stars on the back, which I love. Let's start the top of the month here with an aspect that I really thought was poignant. It's regarding Jupiter and Saturn. So on the 3rd of August, Jupiter, who's still in Leo at the first top of the month, is going to be squaring Saturn at 28 degrees of Scorpio. Just as Saturn's getting ready to leave Scorpio and enter Sagittarius in September, there's a little bit of friction on this day between the third house of communications and clients and contacts and local travel and the vehicle, and the area of the 12th house of rest and psychic ability and the house of addictions and release. Watch the stress around the vehicle on the day of the 3rd, or if you're running late to meetings or clients, there's some tension on that day. A square is not a harmonious aspect like a trine. It does create some friction due to the 90-degree angle, the separation. There's 4 90-degree angles in a square. So these planets are there's some restriction with this because just as much as Jupiter wants to expand, Saturn wants to control. So there's a dynamic on the 3rd that might lead you, in your communications especially, that might lead you to some frustration. But on the same day, there is a grand water trine happening as the moon enters Pisces. It ignites the Saturn at 28 degrees of Scorpio and also Mars at 27 degrees of Cancer. So this water trine is about the tricklings and the downloadings of psychic communication and psychic information. And it's an emotional day. The water trines are not like the fire trines where there's a lot of energy and stamina around them. There's a lot of rest and nebulous energy around the water trine. So circle the 3rd as not a day to take direct action, but allow these feelings to flow through you like water and see how you feel. Because on the grand water trine, that experience will be affecting the 3rd house of communications again, the 11th house of contacts and friendships and social connections and clubs and organizations that you're affiliated with, as well as the 7th house of business partnerships or the house of the others, the house of the marriage partner. So there's some weird energy on the 3rd at the top of the day, and by the bottom half of the day this can be smoothed over, but it's still not a day for action. Don't react, just become aware of what's around you on that day. On the 7th of August, Mercury enters Virgo. So Mercury, your ruling planet, will be in the sign that it naturally co-rules after Gemini, the 1st house of Virgo. Communications, details, analyzation, information. In the 1st house, this is a very heightened time for writers, for people who speak for a living, public speaking. Mercury will be here with you for 20 days through the 27th, so take advantage of him from the 7th to the 27th in the 1st house. You could get a tremendous amount of local errands done. Great time to buy a vehicle in that time period. On the 8th, a day later, Mars enters Leo. So Leo's the sign right before you, governing your 12th house of rest. Having Mars, the planet of stimulation, in a house of rest is a bit of a dichotomy. So what this could be is Mars stimulating the dream sector. The 12th house is the premonitions, spirituality, the stamina and energy to go inward, to learn more about what you believe in spiritually, or the will and drive and determination to make it a point to rest. Some Virgos have a really hard time decompressing because the mind is so constantly analytical and running over processes in the mind that in order to really rest, you might have to force yourself. And Mars is all about force. So if that's what's up, be prepared, because he'll settle you down, baby. On the 11th, this is huge news. Jupiter is entering, he's leaving Leo on the 11th of August and entering Virgo for 13 months. Jupiter is expanding the first house of self. Depending on what your real rising sign is, that's actually your natal first house. But just bear with me here. Watch that forecast as well. If you don't know the time of your birth, then this is absolutely applicable. The solar wheel is very much affected through transits. Now, Jupiter expands what section he's in and creates abundance and optimism and the faith that you can achieve things that you didn't think you could do even as early as last year. It's huge because Jupiter raises you up a level in life. If you look back 12 years ago, where were you at financially and inwardly? How were you feeling about yourself and your accomplishments? Jupiter has a tendency to expand the body, so the weight gain will occur with Jupiter in the first house. It comes off just as easily, but he has a habit of making everyone like Santa Claus, very jovial, and that comes with physical expansion. And there's also an expansion of the belief system when Jupiter enters your first house, and what you believe in and your philosophies can change, raising it up a level. It's a level of awareness. We're all ascending here in this life path. And when you reach the ascension of your furthest ascension, you go on to the next path, the next life. That's what I've been told through my channeling experiences, and I learn through every reading that I'm in. So that's huge. Jupiter entering Virgo, okay, with Mercury conjunct there. Lots of information, lots of expansion, lots of optimism. The desire to also do something new is what I'm hearing, to change it up, might come into play for you. On the 14th, this is when our new moon occurs at 21 degrees of Leo, where it'll meet Mars, where it'll be conjunct the Sun and conjunct Venus. So this month is really predominantly about the 12th house of rest and the first house of self. The body might need some decompression at this time, Virgo, so this is a great month for vacation, the second half of August especially, or from the 8th on. So the new moon in the 12th, you can focus your intention on your own spirituality, your own psychic ability. It could apply to, it's basically about preparation before the first house is kicked in. Then you're in a whole annual cycle. Your solar return is here. Speaking of solar return, the Sun enters Virgo on the 23rd of August. This is where the Sun goes. That's the life force. So the Sun will be right there with Mercury and Jupiter. Massive contacts, massive communications going on. And although it might feel hard to rest, I feel like you should be at this time as well. Protecting the body. You might get some body cards or regarding nurturing in the tarot. On the 27th, Mercury, your ruling planet, exits out of your sign and into Libra. So this is the second house of finance and self-worth and possessions and self-value. So information, details, analyzation of the budget, of the household finances, of where your money is going, where you're investing it, what you're doing with it. You could also get some really good financial advisors at that time from the 27th of August through halfway of September. On the 29th, there is a full moon at 6 degrees of Pisces. This is in the 7th house of relationships. Pisces being your polar opposite sign. That's the 7th house of marriage. It's also the 7th house of business partnerships. And the full moon is the culmination. There is an awareness here in this sector. There could be a full ending in this sector. Perhaps you are coming to an end of how you're doing business with someone, since Mercury is allowing you the strict analysis of your budget. Maybe this is coming into play a few days later with the full moon, putting an end to a certain partnership. It could also be an awareness of your current relationship that you're in, and something that needs to be seen, that is hidden. If you're not in a relationship, the full moon on the 7th isn't a day to start relationships, but it's a great day to get out and become aware of what it is you desire, what it is that you need to bring in your life to form the relationship you want. I love these cards I'm about to use. I just got back from NOLA, Morgan Greer, and we are going to get to the cards. Let's see what's up. Oh, and I also want to tell you, on August 9th, I was asked back to be a special guest on Goddess Alive radio talk show, and I will be taking callers on August 9th. If you call in early enough, you can get a free reading with me on the radio. And I'll be interviewed as well, so it went really well last July, so we're going to give it another whirl. And being on the radio was a dream of mine, so this is super. This works out for me. We're going to keep that dream alive. To have more information on how to call in, just go to themotherhouseofthegoddess.com. I have a great relationship with those girls, and they can, I think the first week of August, they'll have my picture up and all of the details of how to call in to their radio show. Okay, Virgo, what's in store for August according to the Tarot? Wait till you see the illustrations on these. They're badass. Okay. 10 of Wands. Some of you are carrying a burden. This burden might be too heavy to bear right now. Let's see how this applies. I want to see some more of the cards. Now, this is the 5 of Wands. Competition. Fighting for what is yours. Also some creative energy that's stirring up, or feeling you need to get your hand in the pot where everybody else is. Ooh, I love this. The 9 of Coins. This is my first time using this deck during these readings because I just got back from the French Quarter, but look at that, Voodoo Priestess. The 9 of Coins. Earthly possessions, property, inheritance, land, and maybe the expansion of the environment. Wow, I love her. I just really love this card. What a great tattoo that would be. And the Hierophant. The Hierophant. He is about study and needing to gain more knowledge in a certain area, or perhaps spirituality. A teacher. When the Hierophant appears, the student is ready. So, what do you want to study, Virgo? There's a learning process with the Hierophant. Okay. Don't compare your decisions with others. You wanted this, and now you're fighting to get back in the mix. I feel like to start the reading with this, some Virgos that this applies to, you're coming from a place of feeling stressed out about all that you have to do, all that's on your plate. And now you're trying to fight for something that you want to be involved in, or fight for something that's yours, or there's a competitive edge. There's a lot of competitive energy to the Wands cards, particularly the 10 and the 5. Release that, because you need to focus on what it is that you have achieved, not what you haven't achieved. Focus on what it is you actually have, and don't compare your struggles with other people's, because everybody's road is different. You might need some time in the 12th house of spirituality, of rest, of study, having a mentor. This could be a counselor. This could actually be a therapist too. But the Hierophant is a wise, older counsel, guru. For those of you taking yoga and practicing acupuncture, this is your high priest. This is your yogi. And you need some time of rest, perhaps, in this water trine, and throughout the 12th house energy of where your new moon is, where Mars is, where the sun is, the first half, and Venus are all in this 12th house. It'd be a great time to take a course, great time to study spirituality and open yourself up to learning more about the true purpose of life instead of what you think your true purpose of life is, all of these responsibilities and obstacles that you've created for yourself. See, life is just going on and you're being mirrored. You're being thrown everything that you've ever wanted. So why look at it as if it's a burden? Ten of Wands is a guy usually in the Rider-Waite deck. He's walking uphill with all of those rods as if he can't make it there. It's kind of like Sisyphus pushing the rock up the hill and having it roll right back down over him. But this is the most positive. I love this so much. I'm obsessed with this card. And this is growth. This is looking at what you've already achieved. Don't compare yourself. Study what you've already, what you're already interested in that hasn't been developed. I hope that this reading was helpful for you, Virgo. You're going to have a beautiful, beautiful month. Happy birthday to you, and I will see you in September. Have a sweet day. Bye.